Hi, I'm Dave, and this video is an introduction to how to start annotating tennis matches for Cizr. I'll explain a little about what Cizr is and then walk you through the process of doing the trial annotation. And then if you successfully complete that on your own, then you become a Cizr annotator and can start doing real matches coming through the site, and those are the ones you get paid for. So to start, let's go to Cizr, www.cizr.com. So Cizr is a service for tennis players that provides them with statistics and video analysis for their matches. It's used by teams and individual players ranging from juniors to touring pros. You can go on the website and find out more about Cizr and click around and look at everything. I don't need to walk you through that here. What I will show you is the login button in the upper right. This will take you into the actual application. So you get a login. You can log in with whatever email address we've been communicating with, and I will have sent you in your introductory email a password that you can log in. When you log in, you'll get to something that looks like this, and you want to go over into the annotate page button up at the top, and then click on this button right here to start your trial annotation. And your trial annotation will be this exact match that I'm doing right here. There's a bunch of stuff going on this screen, so we'll kind of walk through it slowly to start. Right here is the video panel. So this is, a standard video player that you're probably used to seeing. So um, that's not a big deal. There's a score box here, and this you'll see when we start playing is the expected positions of the players on the tennis court as you start. And this match is between AJ and Caleb, obviously. To identify the players, you can look over in the top right here and it'll explain AJ will be in the light blue shirt and Caleb in the black shirt. Probably the best thing to do before we start anymore is find really what's the beginning of the match. I'll mute this video so you don't get the sound on top of it. Now, some matches are going to might have 10 minutes of the players being around and hitting balls back and forth. In this case, this match starts up pretty quick. I think you can click around. So here they're starting. There's this super fast button when you can press this and hold it, and it'll speeds up to about 6x while you're holding the button and let it go down. So it looks like they're basically beginning to start the match right here. And so you can see we have Caleb in the black and AJ in the light blue. So these bars here match up where everybody is. So Caleb is in the black. So these are in the right place. If they weren't, you could hit change sides and it would switch. It would put AJ down here and Caleb up here. And when you do that, you'll see something that notes adjustments over here and shows you did that. Since we didn't really mean to do that, you can hit this X and it goes away. And then AJ and Caleb are positioned right. The dark red bar will show who's serving, and you'll also see a little bar showing who's serving on the score box. In this case, AJ is marked as serving, but it's not really AJ. So you can go down here and click switch serving team, and now it will move to Caleb serving. So this is the first thing you have to do is basically get the player positions and who's serving correct. Now, the app knows about tennis, and so as you go through, it'll update the score, it'll update who's serving, it'll flip people back and forth across the sides using the standard rules of tennis, switching after the first game, the third game. If at any time the players don't do the standard thing, you can always go in and hit these buttons. While we have these open, I can walk through, change sides and switch serving team we've shown. Other things that can happen is, if for some reason somebody just wins the game, they don't play a full game or something goes wrong, or when they're starting tiebreakers, you can mark that they're starting either a 7 or a 10-point tiebreaker or a new set. So now, once we have this, we're basically started. We can get ready. What you want to do is play the video, and right when the point starts, basically before the player starts their server motion, you hit start point, watch the point, and then hit end point, and then we'll annotate what goes on from there. So here we go, hit start, watch the point. Okay, so when you hit end point, you'll get this down there, which will this information, which allows you to put in what's going on within the point. So I'm not sure if you were watching this point. I was, since I've done this before. But what ended up happening was AJ ended up hitting a forehand that went long. And so what you're going to do is annotate what happened. So in this case, AJ hit an unforced error on his forehand. And the other thing we record is how many times did the ball cross the net. So in this case, it was a serve and a return. Caleb hit the ball again, and then AJ hit it long again. So that was a total of 4. And so you hit push all the buttons, and then you'll get the submit button will be enabled, and you can hit that to enter and submit this point. So there you go. Now you'll see in the timeline, it prints that AJ hit a forehand out. You get ready, players get up for the next point. You can hit start point before it starts, watch the point. So in this case, the ball crossed the net twice. The last player was Caleb, who hit an unforced error on the backhand side. And so basically you can just walk through filling in the points like that. An ace, a fault that goes in the net, or a fault that goes long, or a let, you can just press those buttons and to fill in those things, and then you don't have to fill in anything else. So as soon as you hit those, it'll just go. So we'll submit this point. You can also press this super fast button, which will speed things up in between points for you. And there you go. Now that one, there was a service in the net, so we can just hit fault in net. And then the video will automatically start. We can do the next point. So this one, ball crossed the net twice. AJ hit an unforced error on the forehand side. Now, when you hit forced errors, those actually get winners, and forced errors will get credited to the person who won the point in the last shot they took, and then unforced errors get credited to the person who lost the point. It'll make sense as you end up doing it, and as you do it, you should see the score stays consistent. So you can see here we're at 30-15, and as you're doing this, you can always kind of know where you are. It's 30-15, so that they must be serving from this side. You can get ready and start the point. Again, that's a fault in the net. We'll pause it here for a second, and I'll just do some more of this and then catch up a little bit later. Now here we've done close to the end of the game. We can pick this up here. We've all been there, huh? So in this case, it ends with an unforced volley error. Anything that's up at the net, volley. So overhead smashes, volleys, those all get counted as volleys here. It gets difficult to try to separate those things out more. And so we'll enter in that. And what you'll see here is that that was the last point of the game. It knows that they're going to switch servers and switch sides at this point. And for the most part, you can just fast forward through the changeover by pressing and holding this super fast button. You may find when you start annotating that you can actually end up watching the whole match on a faster speed than, so you can turn up the default speed to 1.5 just to watch what's going on a little bit faster. If that's too fast, you can slow it down. So these buttons will control the default speed, and then super fast controls how fast it's going during uh, while you're holding that button down. Other things you can do, um, you can click on any of these events over here. Sometimes what'll happen is you'll get to the end of a game and either your score won't match with what's going on in the game, so you can go click here and figure out where you've made a mistake. You can rewatch any given point, and then you can also hit this little pencil button to edit what went on, so you can go in there and change whatever happened. You can always hit cancel here because there were no mistakes. And so that's basically it. You sort of go through the annotation, adding in everything as it goes. This ends up being a full set, so when you'll have finished the full set, you can go through and hit completed annotation, and it will go through and register that you've completed this. After that, we'll take a look at you and take a look at the results and then get back to you with next steps. For most people who understand tennis and are, play video games or are pretty comfortable with sort of clicking around on a computer, this ends up being a pretty easy process. You can get into a rhythm where you can basically do it much faster than the actual tennis match itself because of all the fast forwarding you're able to do. And so hopefully this gives you a little guide on how to go through and do this on your own and get your own match done. And once we do that, we can start putting you in doing real matches, and those are the ones you get paid for. Thanks. This has been Dave from Cizr, and you can always email me if you have any questions or comments or feedback during this process. Thanks. Bye.